I linked straight to the Create React app GitHub page in Slack. If you look at the README for Create React app, and remember, any new Create React app apps are initialized with this README in place as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's a good thing to check out if you're curious about how to do any of these specific things. But way down far, there's deployment. And it talks about several different ways to deploy this, including GitHub pages. And it explains everything that we just did in detail. So besides the fact that we're documenting on our website, you can find all this information here. And right above that, Firebase. So Firebase, in addition to the real-time database and the authentication stuff, does have hosting. So that is also pretty darn easy to do. You'll notice it says to install the Firebase CLI command line interface, if you haven't already, by running npm install -g Firebase tools. -g for global, so that it's not just installed to this project, but the command becomes available across your machine. npm install -g Firebase tools. And you can do quite a bit with the command line tools with Firebase, but what we're interested in is setting up hosting. Now, if you want to deploy to Firebase, you're going to have to take this home page that points to GitHub out, or all your links are going to be broken. So I'm going to take this out for the purpose of illustrating Firebase deployment. So having done that, it says run Firebase login and log in with your previously created Firebase account. So if you run Firebase login, I'm already logged in, but for you, it'll probably open up a browser window to have you authorize your Google account. So go ahead and do that. And then, just like we run git init, we'll run Firebase init in the root directory of our project. And then it says a bunch of stuff. Which Firebase CLI feature do you want to set up for this folder? It's hosting that we want. Arrow down to hosting, hit the space bar, and then hit enter. Blah, blah, blah. Select a default Firebase project for this directory. I'm going to choose ThingList Afternoon. The public directory is the folder that will contain hosting assets to be uploaded with Firebase Deploy. If you have a build process for your assets, use your build output directory. And its default is public, but we know it's build in this, right? Build is what gets built when we run npm run build or yarn build. So say build. Configure as a single page app, i.e. rewrite all URLs to index.html. We will say yes. That matters more when we do routing, but now I'm not sure why it wants to overwrite index.html, but that's fine. We're going to need to run build again anyway. So now that I've done that, I'm going to run yarn build again, because last time it built it with the home page set to the GitHub pages. So that's going to be a problem. So we'll build that. And then if we look at the README, we can deploy with Firebase Deploy. So just run Firebase Deploy. And it's done. Hosting URL, HTTPS, ThingList Afternoon, blah, 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 .firebaseapp.com. Click the link, and it takes me there. See if it works. Sign in with GitHub, blah, blah, blah. Open up our... it appears not... Yeah, it went. I'm getting a network error. which I'm not going to worry about right now, but that's how you deploy to Firebase. Remember, you can find all of this and how to deploy to some other hosts as well, many of which are free, right in the README on Create React App. And if you do have an FTP server, you can just copy it on over. Since this one doesn't use routing, that just works. So when you do see an app like this, where the whole screen never refreshes, but the URL does change, it's doing something called routing, and it's doing it on the client side. So what they've done probably is configured their web server to always return index.html, no matter which path you request. And then the JavaScript has a routing engine that determines what it should actually do with that path. So that's what we're learning in the app that Seth's going to build with you. So a lot of times that happens on the server side with things like Ruby on Rails or Django or other MVC apps, for example. But with something like React, it all happens on the client side right inside the browser. When you click something that changes the URL, the request does get sent to the server, and it sees that full thing, but the server has been configured to just send back index HTML every time anyway. So that's where a lot of the magic comes in. And that's how we can have more than one path in our project, despite the fact that everything's happening through index HTML. So that's what we're going to learn how to do with React Router.